Oath of Watchers, what even are they? They're the sort of class that you just got to skim right over and be like, just another Paladin class. But they are definitely worth going back and taking a look at because in a certain campaign, they could be really excellent to bring about.
Hey, Archie, you know
Hmm?
what time it is? Time for Oath of the Watchers. Listen, I didn't pay attention to it either. Is it about watches?
Right, Mitch. Oath of the Watchers. The Oath of the Watchers binds paladins to protect mortal realms from the predations of extraplanar creatures, many of which can lay waste to mortal soldiers. Thus, the Watchers hone their minds, spirit, and body to be the ultimate weapons against such threats. Paladins who follow the Watcher's oath are ever vigilant in spotting the influence of extraplanar forces, often establishing a network of spies and informants to gather information on suspected cults. To a Watcher, keeping a healthy suspicion and awareness about one's surroundings is as natural as wearing armor into battle. With a watch.
With a watch. The tenets of the Oath of the Watcher:
Mhm.
vigilance, loyalty, discipline, and don't be tardy.
Be on time.
Be on time. If you're on time, you're already 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the oath spells, the most
Mhm.
important: alarm.
Everyone needs an alarm.
Yeah, because
Uh,
as I always say, Archie, if you've only got 3 spell slots, you know you want to take alarm. It's a great spell to choose as one of your 3 only spell slots.
Definitely, I'd give that up for Smite. At third level, you got Alarm. You also got Detect Magic. Fifth, you got Moonbeam, See Invisibility. Ninth, you get Counterspell and Non-Detection. At 13th, you get Aura of Purity and Banishment. And at 17th level, you gain a Hold, Monster, and Scry. Now remember, you automatically learn these. You do not have to remember them. They're automatically on your list and do not count against your spells you know for that day. Mitch, what stands out on that list for you?
For me, I'm a little bit. I'm always gonna say banishment because if you want to mess up a DM's day, banishment's just amazing.
Big B.
Uh, Someone gets banished, and then 54 seconds later, everyone's formed a circle about where they're about to spawn back in, holding actions. But no, the counterspell at level 9, very interesting. I love the fact they've got this. There's a cleric that has a counterspell as well. Like I love counterspell, especially coming out of nowhere when you hit level 9, would be a real big moment for a campaign.
Yeah, would not be expecting the Paladin to also bust it out either. So, nor should the bad guys. I like Moonbeam, but unfortunately, it
Moonbeam.
really only works with a group who can lock down enemies. I've used it as a cleric before, and the problem is giving up an action to move it is that sucks so much, especially as a paladin when you should be coming in and smiting things. But if you've got a group who can lock down or hold the lines and keep people on the other side, Moonbeam is great. And the fact that you don't have to memorize it, it's just there for just in case that comes up.
Channel Divinity. At 3rd level, you also get a Channel Divinity. So obviously, 3rd level is when you take your subclass.
Thank you, Oath.
So, watches. Oh, when you take your oath, I like that a lot. Watches will. You can use your Channel Divinity to invest your presence with the warding power of your faith. As an action, you can choose a number of creatures within 30 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, with a minimum of 1 creature. For 1 minute, you and the chosen creatures have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throw. What are your thoughts on that, Archie?
Quickly, it's not going to come up in your typical campaign events, goblins. Won't be there. When you do go extra planar, I hit my characters with a Jabberwocky and Mind Flayers the other day on 2 different campaigns, and both those saves were there and stunned people, taking them out of the battle. Very important for your extra planar type creatures and abilities, especially as you get higher and higher. How about
And don't get shocked with how similar it is to the gnome's passive ability. I forget what it's called, but it gives them advantage on intelligence and charisma and wisdom saving throws against magic. Gnome cunning, that's what it's called.
Amish Cunning, yeah.
So it's really similar to that, but just remember one's for spells only. The other one will have spell like effects like mind flayers and stuff that are getting in there doing those big saves. They're not a spell effect. You'll be able to save against it with advantage.
Okay. You also gain Abjure Extraplanar. You can use your channel divinity to castigate unworldly beings. As an action, you present your holy symbol to an aberration, celestial, elemental, fiend, or fae within 30 feet, and they can hear you. Must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. And remember, a turn creature must use its action to dash away from you, and if it cannot dash, it must try to break out of whatever's holding it, or take the dodge action.
Aura of the Sentinel. At 7th level, you emit an aura of alertness while you aren't incapacitated. While you and any creatures of your choice within 10 feet of you roll initiative, you all gain a bonus equal to your proficiency to your initiative. At 18th level, this aura increases to 30 feet. So basically, if we're looking at when you're proficiency level 3, everyone within that 10 feet is going to get +3 to their initiative, which is huge. It could put your whole team in front of the enemy team and give your casters a chance to set up the battlefield for the battle, which could drastically reduce the amount of damage you take from an initial assault and also how effective the spells are, being able to cast fireballs before the team rushes in and State of Origin head clashes. What do you think, Archie?
Yeah, your people can get in before they start mixing and calling good and
Yeah.
bad mixed in the middle. Definitely, that's when you need it. And initiative can change a lot of things. 10 feet. I don't think everyone's going to gain that benefit though. So we then get Vigilant Rebuke at 15th level. Oh, such a long way away. You've learnt how to chastise anyone who dares wield beguilements against you or your wards, people you protect. Whenever you or a creature you can see within 30 feet succeeds in an intelligence, a wisdom, or a charisma saving throw, you can use your reaction to deal an extra 2d8 plus charisma modifier force damage to the creature that forced the saving throw. Now, it's good that they didn't use radiant damage because you could be up against Celestials. So force is the right pick for this. What did you think, Mitch?
That's a good pickup, actually. I love this. It's a reasonable amount of damage for the level. It's a free reaction type damage, so loving it. You should have a high charisma modifier at this stage, so you're sort of looking at like 13 average sort of damage for this.
Capstone ability. How do we go at our capstone ability, Mitch?
Oh, yeah, this is a real level 20 ability. So many times we do these videos, and I'm disappointed when you get to the last ability, and you have to sort of buff it up a little bit and pretend like you're more impressed than you are. This is the greatest thing ever. No, I'm not doing that thing. I'm not doing that thing I said. But Mortal Bulwark at 20th level, you manifest a spark of divine power in defense of the mortal realms. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 1 minute. You gain true sight with a range of 120 feet. So that's seen through illusions. You now see everything. You see invisible people. You see people in the other realm. You see like ethereal sight. This is ridiculous. You also have advantage on attack rolls against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fays, and fiends, which, if you're in extraplanar space, may be almost all of them. When you hit a creature, so there's more. So this is what I'm saying. It's a proper capstone. When you hit a creature with an attack roll and deal damage to it, you can also force it to make a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the creature is magically banished to a native plane of existence if it's not currently there. On a successful save, the creature can't be banished by this feature for 24 hours. Wow. Once you use this bonus action, you can't use it until you finish a long rest or expend a 5th level spell slot to use it again.
Costly. But very cool.
Very, very cool. That is one of my favorite capstones. Like, it's just crazy. I'm actually currently trying to work out how to abuse this because I know for a fact that it's going to be a great way. I know, like, at
You're
20th
going
level.
home. You're going home. You're going home.
Aha! Sorceress Adept, so you can get the meta magic, so you can cast it as an action and a bonus action, so get 10 hits of Eldritch Blast and 10 summons in one turn.
Cool. Yeah. I like it. I think it's great. The only fallback I think is could potentially be your spell DC if you've been working on your other stats and not your charisma. What do you like and don't like about this class, Mitch?
Um, for a subclass that's called Oath of the Watchers, there was nothing there about a watch. Um, I was expecting some sort of small item about a watch.
Winding and
False
watch.
advertising, yeah, like the ability to know the time regardless of being able to see the sun. Something about knowing true north with your watch apps.
Yeah.
Uh,
Third ed.
but
Third ed would have given you that.
yeah, third ed would have
That's
given it to
totally
you.
third ed.
But realistically, it's really good. Paladins always have big gaps between their subclass abilities, and I feel like each one of these it delivers. So sometimes I feel like they dial it in. There was a few in Tasha's where I felt like they dialed it in and they just did another spell. Almost every single one of these is unique to this subclass,
Yeah.
and it's really good. Even the Watcher's Will, that is just giving your intelligence on wisdom. Oh, sorry, advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves. Even though that's similar to the gnome passive, it's completely different because the gnomes is for spells. This is for all those saving throws. So this can be, magical effects from creatures, dragon fear, that type of thing.
Okay. I like that Celestials were included in this, being that this isn't just, we'll just go with the good guys and get rid of all the bad and others. Like everyone. Get out of the mortal realm. This is our realm. All ears. Push off. I think so. That's good. And also, if you want to play an evil paladin, specifically hunt them down, you could do that as well. I think this could be grow immensely when the Planescape gets released in 5th edition, which will come in October 23 later this year. So I think we're going to see potentially more growth from this subclass. I do find it very circumstantial, though. If you're playing in Lost Mine of Fandelver, this class will not shine at all. Pick another paladin. I think you need to pick the right campaign to play this, because if you're not coming up against enough of these creature types, then you're just not going to do the cool things that you're meant to be doing. I find it strange that undead aren't mentioned there, considering that undead are risen from the energies channeled from the negative energy plane. So I would have no problem with just giving that to a person as undead come up reasonably amount. And this is kind of like the ranger of the classes. It becomes a bit circumstantial, so I would have no qualms of giving them undead as well. And I possibly think you might be even stronger if you become a planar walker and go out in the planes. Although then I've got a question: why are you leaving the material realm if that's where you're meant to be here to protect? And also, if you're out there, then your banishing may not work. Although a demon in the Nine Hells can get banished back to the abyss, so it's not a be all and end all to planar. So, Mitch,
Yeah.
with all this, what is your character concept for this paladin?
Ooh. Now for this, I'd have to go buddy style because I love this character subclass, but I feel like there has to be a dynamic here. So first of all, the fact that my turn celestial, whatever it is, will work on phase. I'd love to have a Fae in the party, but not as my closest friend. Just like to have that backwards and forwards of, yeah, I'm watching you. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm going to go Witcher style with Javier or whatever his name is, the bard.
Mm-hmm.
No. You
Denderi.
think I'm going to go Van Helsing
Oh,
with some sort of artificer giving me all my crossbows and stuff like that.
cool.
No, 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 no. My name is John Constantine.
Ah,
I
yes.
may not be the nicest guy, but I do my best. And I would
Yes.
have an order of the scribes with a wizard with me, providing me with banishment spells, all sorts of stuff, writing up the little spell scrolls, little items I can use.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, buddy cop, I'd have them be a Harengan.
Oh, yes.
Uh, possibly, we've got Order of the Scribes, but Harengan gets a bonus to initiative from their proficiency as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this, have them have the alert feat. So,
Oh.
like, if they stay next to me at the start of a combat,
They're out of it.
so I'll do my min maxing on the wizard, and I'll have John Constantine having a great old time banishing people, laying down the law of the mortal realm.
Mm.
How about yourself?
We are missing a demonologist like character for like John Constantine.
Love it.
For me, I get the feeling you're a little bit Ghostbuster-ish. That being that dealing with the problems on the material plane aren't your issues. The thief over there who's stealing from someone, not your problem. That's for someone else. I'm the cool paladin. You guys can do what you please. I'm down with it. I'm cool. I'm cool. You young kids. My problem is the things from outside. I'm there to defend you against things from the outer planes. Let's go raid this thing and go steal this and go do whatever. I'm cool. I'm down with all that. I need money to power up, to buy the scrolls, to prepare myself for the bigger thing that's coming, that I foresee coming. I need to get money for my order, to have swords and magical armor so that we can focus. We need magic weapons to fight these things. So I am down with being that type of paladin that's like, yeah, let's go there and rob this thing and do whatever, because that doesn't matter. I need this for the bigger picture. I'm a bigger picture
Dude,
paladin.
I know that you're talking about Paladin Ethereal Realms, but do you know what I just heard?
Well,
Let me hear. Just watch with me. Just watch with me. Just watch me. Here come the man in black.
secret organizations.
It literally is. Like, there's a scene in Men in Black where they're like doing crimes and Jay's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy Lee Jones is like, oh yeah, slick. Oh no, let him go. Oh yeah, we're gonna catch the real aliens.
I've got
Talking about the Mexicans.
yeah, I've got that that roleplay game. It's a good one.
Yeah, but like 100%, we could combine our ideas and do a Men in Black.
Mm. So, is there anything you think players need to be wary of when they're looking at this class, subclass?
Obviously, the fact that you can cause your teammates to run in fear should be noted.
Definitely.
But apart from that, I think it's a case of there are some spells in your list that you get for free, like Alarm and several ones like that, that although it feels thematically right, mathematically, if you've only got 3 spell slots and there's a good chance of you getting ambushed, if you use your only spell for Alarm, you may not be able to protect yourself. But yeah, I think just working on your spell abilities and working out what you need to when you need to blow your load. I think that's and having a character that can provide you with those banishment scrolls could do a lot for that.
Definitely. I think as a player, you need to know a little bit about the planes, to know what your character is taking issue with. So I think you need to do a little bit of reading up on the planes. That's what your subclass is about. I think you need to learn creature types and why they matter for aberrations, elementals, celestials, fey, and fiend. So that way you can automatically spot things so you know to use your abilities. I would hate to have thought you fought this thing and then you turn to the DM and you're like, man, this sucks. I never get to use my ability. He was like, those things were all fey. Why didn't you do it? And you're like, oh, I didn't know they were fey. Like, I think you need to do a little bit of research yourself so that you would recognize them when they come into the game. I think you need to find out if the campaign is going to feature these type of creatures, or else if it's not going to be very heavy with these creature types, I would strongly not play it. And as you said, you need to know who's in your group. Will it be a problem? Also, with those banishment scrolls you were talking about, how it would work for you, because banishment's so far up the list. To cast a spell, you can if it's on your list, but if it's higher, you've got to make a spellcaster check. What you need to do is do an ability check with your casting modifier equal to 10 plus the level of the spell. Now, banishment's 4, so DC 14 charisma check, in which case it's an ability check. You could use Enhance Ability, Guidance, Bardic Inspiration to boost it up, so you could actually succeed rather than have more 50-50. You've got a better chance of pulling at least the spell off, and then they'd get their save against it. So you've got a couple things working against you here. Some things that might come into your game would be some other spells, such as Protection of Good, Evil and Good, Dispel Evil and Good. The Arcane Clerics, Channel Divinity domain, the Arcane Abjuration can turn one of those types. And also the Cleric spell Forbiddance. But I also think you might be up against people who are using things like Planar Binding, summoning spells, it's Summon Phase, Summon Elemental, Summon this, Plane Shift, and Gate. These are the sort of things that are making more incursions and bringing things in, and you may not get on well with members in your party who plan to use these predominantly. I feel you're the type of person who'd be like, we don't use the energies, the weapons, or anything of the enemy. Unlike the Fey Wanderer, who'd be very much potentially along the lines of, hey, let's use the enemy stuff against themselves. I feel in one of your tenets that loyalty, never accept gifts or favors from fiends or those who truck with them. I don't think if someone's casting those sort of spells, you're going to get on very well. So kind of need to know what the party's doing there. How about for DM tips, Mitch? If someone wanted to play one of these in your game, how would you give them their moment to shine?
Well, just to clarify, John Constantine would 100% use the enemy's weapons against them.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, for the DM, I would. You've put a lot on the player to say, hey, you've got to go do your research. A lot of people struggle with doing research and not metagaming. So if you start studying all the fake creatures and then one comes up, some DMs and players can sort of get it a bit offside.
Yeah.
One way to get around this is you've got the monster block, stat block in front of you. Come up with a simple thing you can do. If it's likely that they've seen one of these before, because in your world they're very prominent, have a history check or a religion check or something that you feel would be appropriate for that monster for the reason that you believe they might have seen it, and just have a low DC. Oh, well, it's whether they've history would be if they've come across it, religion, if they've studied it, arcana, if they've been studying the area and the creatures of that area. So it's one of those things that if it's appropriate, have them roll for it, and that way it's fair.
I reckon just give it to them. This class would get so few moments to shine, and if you're only going to bust out a devil and he failed his save and didn't realize it was a campion or whatever, like it just wasn't clicking onto it, or a Fey. Fey's probably one of the more ones you're going to miss it. Then yeah, I would just give it to them. Then through their extra studies and things like that, they give them their chance, or otherwise they're going to be filthy. You know, told them. But that's what's also the player. It's on the player as well to know a little bit about them.
Yeah, you say that, but you know, it's one of those things that if somebody casts, hold person, and it turns out they're a Fey and it doesn't work.
Now it's your turn to go and swing it. I also think that you need to warn players if you are not going to have a lot of these types of creatures in your campaigns. You need to know that aberrations, if you're not playing Mind Flayers, Gibbering Mouthers, and all that sort of stuff, that Beholders, then tell people, like, these are not heavily in this campaign. In saying that, though, if you are going to run a campaign that's going to have a lot of these in there, you need to tell the players, hey, lads, this is a subclass that could do really well. Like, of all the times to play it, this is the time to play this. You will get maximum effect out of playing this planar defending creature. I also think as dropping scrolls of banishment into the loot, because that's what this guy's about, banishing things and getting rid of them. And these things should cost about 6 to 850, 900, I guess, a scroll. So pick them up and loot should be handy. And another cool thing you could drop for them that they would love to potentially get would be dimensional shackles to handcuff a creature, to bring it back into or to find a portal to kick it out of. And so you've got to bind the creature, handcuff it up, and then send it back to its plane. So that could definitely be another way of doing it, like hunting these things down, grabbing them, bringing them out. Very monster of the week type characters almost. So, Mitch, you got anything
100%.
else for this subclass?
No, I just honestly think we should roll the clip Men in Black parody song we made.
Perhaps we'll save that for a grand unveiling. Thank you for watching this. If you've liked this, we've almost finished all the Tashas, and we'll be moving on to the next book of subclasses
It's
reviews.
crazy.
It's
What
taken
do we
a
have
while.
left?
I think we've only got 2 left to go, but if you enjoyed that, have a look. Have a look at the links below. We've got Patreon. We've got all these STL files for you to print off all the images of gods. We've got all the ways to get in touch with me and Mitch if you want to join our Discord servers or our Facebook pages and everything else we sort of run. By all means, I really appreciate you being here, and particularly those who've made it to the end. If you please could like, subscribe, leave a comment, I would greatly appreciate it. And I want to know that anyone who's run this in a campaign that didn't heavily feature these type of creatures, how did you find it? Was it a drawback the whole time? Did you regret your choice, or should you have just played a generic Paladin and just reflavored what they're about? Thanks for joining me, Mitch, and I'll catch you next time.
See you next time. Roll credits.
Dun, 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 dun.